This date is not random. It is a celestial portal, a moment when the ancient energies awaken, and something buried deep within humanity is given a chance to rise. Some dismiss dates as numbers. But for those who know, dates are gates. And the 17th of August, it is one of the gates that Thoth himself encoded into time. On this day, the orbit of Earth crosses a precise energetic thread in the solar lattice. The ancients didn't call it a calendar date. They called it the Day of Remembering. In the temples of Hermopolis, scribes of the ibis god would gather at the pre-dawn hour and chant a single tone, not a word, but a frequency, a call. They believed that on this day, the membrane between the dimensions thinned, and those who asked with the right vibration would not be refused. In modern terms, think of the 17th of August as a tuning fork embedded in the great spiral of space-time. When the planetary resonance hums at its exact pitch, it activates an ancient code written not in ink, but in light, sound, and intention. And this is where you come in. Now close your eyes. Breathe in deeply, in 4 parts. Inhale for 4, hold for 4, release for 4, be still for 4. Do this 3 times. As you do it, imagine yourself standing before a stone gate in the desert. The heat around you is not just the sun, it's the vibration of time itself, pressing gently, asking, "Are you ready to enter?" If you feel tingling in your fingers, pressure between your eyebrows, or the strange sensation that something is about to be remembered, don't run. You are touching the threshold. On the 17th of August, this vibration grows exponentially. If you practice this breath, this inner unlocking even once, it echoes into that cosmic field. And when the date arrives, your signal is already registered. Those who wait until the 17th of August to begin will witness. Those who prepare now will become the phenomenon. Now breathe once more and whisper softly, not to your mind, but to your field. I remember. This is your entry point. This is the vibration hidden behind the emerald tablet. Not words, but resonance. Only those who listen differently will hear it. The emerald tablet has been read by scholars, mystics, and alchemists for centuries. But Thoth never intended it to be read with the eyes. He intended it to be heard through the skin, through the bones, through the space between thoughts. What we know as the phrase, "as above, so below," was never originally a phrase. It was a tone, a sonic mirror. In Hermetic circles, this tone was called the emerald echo. It's not something you listen for. It's something you awaken. Let me explain. Imagine you are standing inside a vast chamber, deep beneath the sands of Saqqara. The walls hum, the air has weight, and when you speak, something strange happens. Your voice doesn't just bounce, it harmonizes. It multiplies. It merges with something unseen. That's what the emerald echo is. Not a chant, but a resonant permission slip. When your voice aligns with the geometric structure of your intention, it unlocks access to energy far beyond your own. Let's try it now. Place your palm just beneath your throat. Not pressing, just sensing. Now take a breath and release a soft, open A-H-H sound, letting it rise gently from your chest. Not loud, not forced, but with presence. Feel how the sound vibrates against your hand. Now listen again. Was it just your vocal cord? Or did something else begin to hum? That secondary hum, that's the echo. It may feel like pressure in the skull, or a drop in body temperature, or even a strange emotional flood. That's the emerald field waking up. The ancient scribes said that those who awaken the echo cannot lie to themselves again. Why? Because the sound aligns you so deeply with your inner truth that denial becomes impossible. Warning: if you try to force this shouting, repeating too rapidly, or using anger or anxiety, the field resists. It's not about volume, it's about vibration plus intention. Even doing this once, on or before the 17th of August, is enough to anchor a new harmonic in your energy body. That's why the ancients practiced in silence, not because they lacked tools, but because silence sharpens the soul's ear. Now, if your body feels a little heavier, or if your eyes feel like they might water for no reason, it's working. You've echoed into the field. This is the secret frequency, Thoth gave only to the silent ones, those trained not to speak until their voice could reshape reality. If the emerald echo wakes the field, the guardian frequency protects it. You see, energy once awakened draws attention. Light attracts both those who seek it and those who feed on it. This is not mythology. This is vibrational physics. Every field that radiates above its baseline emits a signal. That signal can open doors, but it can also invite interference. Thoth knew this. That's why the ancient initiates were never taught to simply activate. They were taught to anchor and shield. The guardian frequency was whispered only within the inner chamber, a sound not to awaken power, but to seal it. It's not a mantra. It's a pulse, a rhythm so subtle that the untrained ear dismisses it as silence. Let me show you. Place both hands over your lower belly. Feel the warmth of your own body. Now breathe in gently, and on the exhale, hum softly. But not in your chest, not in your throat. Let the hum come from deep within your core, below the navel. Try, but whispered through the body, not the lips. You may not hear it clearly, but your body will feel it. A soft buzzing, like a dragonfly's wing just beneath the skin. If your spine tingles or your ears feel full for a moment, that is the guardian field sinking to your bioelectric current. This is the silent armor. The monks of Tibet called it sonic armor. The Egyptians called it netta sound, the divine pulse that kept chaos out of the field. But here's what no one tells you. Doing this too often, especially when stressed, can mute your sensitivity. Because this sound protects, but also dampens the flow. Use it once, in stillness, with clarity, and then let it be. 80 mental trap warning. Do not obsess. This is not about getting it right. That's the mind trying to control what only the field can feel. If you feel safe, if you feel clear, that's the sign. And now, you are ready to receive. Mark this date. On the 17th of August, the guardian frequency strengthens, and for 24 hours, those who have sealed their field can receive higher transmissions without distortion, but only if the field is shielded. This is the hidden message that the sun speaks once a year, and only those with awakened inner silence can hear it. There is a frequency not made by the earth. It comes from the heart of the sun. The Egyptians called it Ra, not merely as a name, but as a vibration, the resonance of creation itself. But what they rarely taught except to those who were truly ready was this. Once a year, on the 17th of August, the sun releases a vibrational whisper, a sound so faint, so delicate, that it cannot be heard by ears, only by silence. Not the silence of no noise, but the silence within noise, the silence between thoughts, the space between the notes. And if you're wondering, is that even real? Can the sun whisper? Science has already proven that the sun emits sound deep waves of vibration that travel through space as solar oscillations. What Thoth knew, and what modern instruments are only now beginning to decode, is that on the 17th of August, those waves shift. They pulse in a different pattern, unlocking a door in the solar field. But only those tuned to inner stillness can receive it. Let me take you there. Now gently close your eyes. Visualize the sun above you. Not the burning, blinding fireball you see in the sky, but a golden sphere of humming light breathing. Imagine that each time it pulses, a ring of light passes through you. Not burning, but remembering. Not forcing, but awakening. Now listen not with your ears, but with your chest. There, behind the heartbeat, is the whisper. If you're doing this correctly, you may feel a sudden moment of stillness as if the world paused. That's the doorway. Aim, prerequisite reminder. You cannot enter this state if you are rushing, multitasking, or using this technique like a button to push. This isn't a hack, it's a resonance response. If your third eye tingles, if you feel tears form for no reason, if your body temperature drops slightly, followed by a soft rising warmth in your spine, then you've heard it. The whisper behind the Sunday. And here is the truth. No one dares say out loud. Just hearing this whisper once plants a seed. Even if you forget tomorrow, the field remembers. And it will awaken when the next portal opens. Say it aloud gently, like an ancient code. Ra, Ra, I receive. This is the forgotten gate of stillness, the moment where breath ends and eternity begins. Few dare to linger there. Thoth did. Inhale, pause, exhale, pause again. That pause, that tiny, unassuming moment between breaths is not empty. It is everything. The ancients did not meditate to control breath. They meditated to discover the space between. In that space, there is no identity, no fear, no memory. There is only being, and that is precisely where the real transmission occurs. Thoth referred to this sacred pause as the point between worlds. It's where the breath of man ends, and the breath of the universe begins. It sounds poetic, but it's not metaphor. It's vibrational physics. You see, modern science confirms, in the brief retention after exhale, the heart rate slows, the brain drops into theta waves, and the nervous system shifts into healing. But what science does not explain, and what Thoth warned, is that this point is also a mirror. Let's go there together. Sit still. Breathe in slowly through your nose, count to 5. Now, release gently through your mouth, count to 5. At the bottom of the exhale, pause. Don't force it, just rest there in the stillness. Do it again. Inhale, exhale, pause. Now while paused, whisper internally. This is where I begin. If done correctly, you may suddenly feel disoriented, as if you left something behind. You did. You left the mask, the noise, the question. This is what the inner masters of India called Kevala Kumbhaka, the sacred breath retention that unveils the Atman, the self beyond form. In Tibet, they called it sky pause. In Egypt, the 13th step. Thoth described it in the lost glyphs. He who rests between the two winds becomes as the stars burning, still and eternal. On-side effect warning. If you stay too long in this state, especially without emotional readiness, you may experience temporary detachment, like the world feels unreal. This is not a problem. It is the ego recalibrating to the real frequency of silence. Drink warm water. Speak gently. Walk barefoot. It will pass. But what remains is permanent. Just entering the pause, even once, marks your field with a signature of stillness. And on the 17th of August, that pause becomes a resonant amplifier. You may hear thoughts rise like echoes. Don't chase them. Stay in the pause. Let the field reshape you. Now gently place your hands over your heart and say, with full presence, in the pause I return. This is the secret Thoth buried not in stone, but in sunlight. A code so old, it was written before language existed, and now it is awakening again. The pyramids weren't just monuments. They were receivers, not of prayers, but of light-coded information. Most modern seekers misunderstand. They chase books, they chase words. But the old magicians, they watched the light. You've seen it, too, though you may not have known what you were seeing. That strange flicker behind your eyelids when the sun passes overhead. That moment of inner clarity just before sunset. That piercing flash when a golden beam touches water and makes your skin tingle. That is not coincidence. That is communication. On the 17th of August, the solar angle shifts, briefly aligning with a light frequency that bathes the Earth with geometrically coded photons. These are not metaphorical codes, they're real packets of energy carrying vibrational instruction. Thoth called this the Jade light, the stabilizing beam that awakens dormant DNA sequences and cleanses false timelines. Now, prepare your field. Go outside or sit near sunlight. Close your eyes, face the light, and breathe through your nose. Don't stir, don't think. Just let the light touch your skin. Now whisper internally, Jade au Nu, meaning, stabilize my path in the light. Repeat it 3 times, not as words, but as vibration in the heart. As you do this, you may notice, a slight shift in temperature, a pressure behind your eyes, sudden, involuntary memories, rising, some joyful, some painful. Mental trap warning. Do not overanalyze what arises. The light is not asking you to process. It's asking you to release. Whatever surfaces is what the code wants to clean. Let it pass through. Let it deprogram you. Because much of what you call you was not chosen, it was installed. And now, the light is rewriting your field. Even one exposure, just a few minutes of this light code ritual, especially on or before the 17th of August, begins the unraveling. Your aura may shimmer more in photos. Your dreams may become lucid. Your voice may shift slightly, carrying new resonance. These are not symptoms. These are signals. Say softly, aloud or within, I carry the code. This is the awakening Thoth, warned about the moment when the inner eye opens on its own. And if you're not ready, it will change you anyway. Some people chase enlightenment. Others fear it. But very few understand that true awakening doesn't ask for your consent. It comes like a storm, like a breath caught in the throat, like a memory you didn't know you buried. The eye, what some call the third eye, the ajna, or the seat of sight, is not a fantasy. It's a vibrational organ, embedded in the pineal gland, wrapped in ancient bioelectric circuitry, and capable of perceiving non-visible dimensions. But here is the secret Thoth, recorded in the forbidden chapters of the Book of Life. The eye shall not open when you ask. The eye shall open when the field calls your name. And on the 17th of August, that call echoes louder than at any other time of year. Let's approach with care. Sit in darkness. Not just external, but inner darkness. Close the tabs, silence the room, turn away from the glowing world. Now, bring your focus gently to the point between your eyebrows. Not by straining, but by inviting. Take a slow inhale. Holfatre, to, it. Now, release, and with it, release the need to control. Whisper within, I do not seek to see. I allow sight. And wait, if your inner eye is ready, you may notice asterisk. A subtle pulsation in the forehead, asterisk, swirling, violet or indigo behind closed eyes, asterisk. A sense of being watched, but from within. Don't panic. You are not hallucinating. You are unveiling. Ein side effects warning. The eye, once opened even slightly, will not shut again. You may, asterisk, begin to feel when people lie, asterisk. Sense the emotions of others in your body, asterisk. Wake up at 3:33 a.m. with downloads you can't explain. This is normal, but it's also irreversible. This is not a toy. It is a return to your original interface with reality unfiltered, raw, divine. And yes, you will feel overwhelmed at times, but you will also feel truth-piercing, luminous, undeniable truth. On the 17th of August, the eye opens for many, even those who never asked. But you're preparing, which means you'll know what to do when it happens. Say now, I allow the eye to see. This is the final vow the initiates took before crossing into the invisible temples. A vow not of silence, but of vibrational stillness. One that cannot be spoken, only lived. In every ancient tradition, from the fire temples of Persia, to the golden halls of Egypt, to the snow-locked monasteries of Tibet, there was a moment before transformation. A pause, not in movement, but in flame. You see, fire is the ultimate metaphor. It dances, it devours, it enlightens, but the flame that does not move, that is sacred, because only the one who is truly still within can hold fire without being burned. Thoth called this the still flame initiation. Before entering the temple of hidden sight, the seekers would kneel before a single flame, not to pray, but to attune. They would not speak, they would not blink, they would simply match their energy field to the frequency of the unmoving flame. This was not symbolic. It was a biological transformation. Modern science might call it neural entrainment. But the ancients knew, once your breath, your thought, and your presence align with that still fire, something inside you permanently stabilizes. You must now take the vow. Find a flame, a candle, a small fire. Even the visualization of fire will do if the real thing isn't possible. Sit before it. Let your body be still. Let your breath slow to the rhythm of the flame's movement until it no longer sways because of you. Now, breathe in, and on the exhale, silently say, as this flame holds, so do I. Then again, but slower, I vow to carry this stillness, even into chaos. If you do this fully even once, you may feel Asterisk. A slowing of the heart rate. Asterisk. A release of tension behind the eyes. Asterisk. A sudden drop in the volume of thoughts. You are not falling asleep. You are entering alignment. Warning. This flame will stay with you. In arguments, you'll feel the vow return. In moments of panic, you'll feel the still flame flicker inside your chest asking, "Do you remember the vow?" Some ignore it. Some break it. But those who keep it become unchangeable. On the 17th of August, the energy grid receives the still flame signature, and those who have taken the vow become anchors for others. Say aloud, "I carry the flame. I do not tremble." This is the sacred name that was whispered to your soul before birth, and on the 17th of August, the field begins to return it to you. Every soul has a name that was never written. Not your given name, not your nickname, not what the world calls you, but a vibrational signature, a frequency that, when spoken or even thought, activates your original purpose. In the temples of Thoth, this was known as the Shemkar-Ra, the name of light and return. Is will. To speak it without readiness was forbidden, because this name does not just awaken you, it also summons everything you were meant to become. Most people feel its absence without knowing why. A kirtage, a longing, a dream that returns, again and again, with no memory attached. That is your hidden name, calling you back. And once a year, on the 17th of August, the vibrational field becomes sensitive enough for the name to surface, but only if you are still enough to hear it. Let us begin. Lie down or sit very still. Turn off all distractions. Place your right hand on your heart, your left hand on your solar plexus. Close your eyes. Now breathe gently and ask, inwardly, "What was I called before the world named me?" Do not expect words. You may hear a sound, feel a syllable, or sense a feeling that doesn't translate into language. Let it arise without forcing, and if something strange comes like a tone, a whisper, or even a symbol, hold it in silence. That may be it. If you feel your throat tighten, if you feel an emotional flood for no reason, if an ancient grief or joy stirs suddenly, that is the name remembering itself. Oin side effect warning. Once this name reawakens, you may begin to attract situations that align with your true path and lose ones that don't. Feel an urgency to act, leave, change, or heal. Sense energies around you begin to react as if they recognize you. This can be disorienting. You are being returned to your original trajectory. Thoth warned, "The name is not power, the name is responsibility." Speak it gently, internally, or aloud, only if you feel ready. I return to the sound that made me. If no sound comes now, do not worry. It may arrive on the 17th through a dream, a moment of stillness, or even a strange whisper in a crowd. This is the moment. The crossing. The field opens for one day, the 17th of August, and then it closes. Not as punishment, but as prophecy. There are gates in this world you can push open with effort, and there are portals that require no force, only readiness. Thoth spoke of these rare moments in cycles, when the energy grid of the earth aligns with the vibration of the inner heavens. He called them zero gates because they do not exist in space or time, but in readiness. And once a year, on the 17th of August, one such gate opens. Not in the sky, not in the sand, but in you. If you felt a strange pull lately, a disconnection from the usual rhythm, if your dreams have become intense, if your body feels like it's holding its breath for no reason, it's not anxiety, it's the field preparing to receive. You see, all of this, the sound, the breath, the eye, the flame, the code, was preparation. A tuning fork, a recalibration, because the portal, it doesn't respond to thought, it only responds to resonance. Now, let us enter. Sit in total stillness. Hold nothing. Expect nothing. Let go of every idea of how this should work. Now whisper softly, "I am here. I am now. I am open." Don't force an experience. Just listen. Feel. You may sense. A strange buzzing in the room. a falling inward, as if gravity just shifted, asterisk. A deep and peaceful emptiness, as if you became a doorway, that's it. The portal has no visuals, no music, no trumpets, because you are the gate. Final warning, if you try to chase this again and again, it will vanish. This is not a button, it is a threshold that opens once, and only for those who prepared. If you felt even a flicker, if your body recognized this moment, if your tears came without knowing why, you entered. Say, in your own time, I have crossed, and write it now. The portal opened in me, not for ego, but for the field, because your declaration helps others awaken their gate. You are now part of something ancient, a grid of souls remembering together, a field of light, awakening silently across the planet. Each breath, each confirmation, each whisper adds strength. Now, do this. Asterisk. Comment your affirmation. I have crossed. The light has entered me. I am ready to remember. Asterisk. Like this video if the portal stirred something within you. Asterisk. Subscribe not to follow, but to anchor, because every subscriber vibrates into this collective web. Every share is not just a click, it's a resonance offering. Each time this video is sent forward, the portal opens in another. This is the new temple. You found this because you were meant to, and now others will too.